What's the worst thing a manager did when you needed help? I was serving a table of 8 when this man started screaming about cold soup and threw the bowl against the wall. My heart immediately started pounding so hard I thought it would burst through my chest. I stumbled into the kitchen gasping for air while my hands shook violently. That's when my manager Dolores found me hyperventilating next to the dishwasher station, clicking her red acrylic nails on the counter like she always did when annoyed. I can't breathe. I need 5 minutes, please, I begged her. She crossed her arms and glared at me. Stop being dramatic. Table 12 needs their order now. I tried to explain that I was having a panic attack, but she cut me off. Mental health is just an excuse. Get back out there or clock out permanently. The way she said it made my blood run cold because I needed this job to pay rent. Dolores followed me to the bathroom and blocked the door with her body, those red nails tapping against the doorframe. I don't pay you to have feelings. This is dinner rush. She pulled out the schedule and showed me I was the only server covering sections 3 through 6. You leave, those tables don't get served, and I fire you for abandonment, she said, then added that she'd cut all my shifts next week if I didn't get back to work immediately. Other servers watched from the kitchen, but nobody dared intervene. Your generation thinks anxiety matters. My generation just pushed through, she said, pointing to the packed dining room. 200 people eating. You're not ruining my Saturday numbers. My heart rate climbed higher and my hands shook so badly I couldn't hold a pen steady. 20 minutes in, I dropped my first tray of drinks which shattered glass everywhere and cut my hand open. Dolores made me clean it up while customers stared at the blood dripping on the floor, her nails clicking impatiently on a nearby table. My vision started tunneling and spots danced in front of me. 30 minutes later, I couldn't remember orders anymore and wrote nonsense on my pad. The chest pain got so severe I thought my ribs would crack. Then I dropped a second tray with soup that splashed all over a toddler, making the parents furious. Dolores loudly apologized to everyone for her incompetent server and forced me to apologize to each table individually while I could barely stand. An hour in, my legs started giving out, so I had to lean on tables to stay upright. Multiple customers asked if I needed a doctor, but Dolores kept interrupting them. She's fine, just tired, she'd say with a fake smile. When I grabbed a chair to steady myself, Dolores yanked it away from me. That's when I vomited into a bus tub right in the middle of the dining room. Clean that up and get back to work, she ordered. By then, I couldn't speak anymore and just pointed at menu items while my whole body shook uncontrollably. Several customers complained to Dolores about my condition. She announced to the entire dining room, "Sorry folks, she's trying to get out of working." I was carrying a tray with 6 entrees to a large party when something inside me finally snapped. I looked at Dolores standing there with her arms crossed, clicking those red nails against her elbow, watching me suffer, and decided I was done. I set the tray down on the nearest empty table, pulled out my phone, and dialed 911 right there in the dining room. "I need medical help. My manager won't let me leave during a medical emergency," I said loudly enough for everyone to hear. Dolores rushed over screaming, "Hang up right now or you're fired." But I kept talking to the dispatcher, describing my symptoms while customers watched in shock. "She's forcing me to work while I'm having chest pains and can't breathe," I told them. A man at table 6 stood up and said, "I'm videoing this. Keep going." More phones came out as Dolores tried to grab mine, but I stepped back and kept the dispatcher on the line. The paramedics arrived within 10 minutes and immediately put me on oxygen. In the emergency room, the doctor looked extremely concerned after reviewing my test results. "You had an irregular heartbeat for over an hour," he explained. "The sustained stress caused small tears in your heart muscle. If you'd continued another 30 minutes, you could have had a stroke." The nurse mentioned they'd treated 4 servers from my restaurant for panic disorders this year. One had a heart attack at 23. "Same manager?" the doctor asked. The nurse quietly added, "The last one attempted suicide after their shift." Left a note specifically naming the manager. The doctor said he was calling the health department because this was systematic workplace abuse. 3 days later, I returned with an OSHA inspector, a mental health advocate lawyer, and 6 former employees carrying medical records. Multiple customers from that night showed up with their recordings as witnesses. Dolores denied everything, calling us weak and pathetic. A former server showed unalive attempt notes naming Dolores specifically. OSHA found no break room, no break schedules, and 0 accommodation procedures. The health inspector discovered 12 safety violations and shut the restaurant immediately. The legal consequences came swift and hard. 3 weeks after the shutdown, the restaurant chain faced a lawsuit. Dolores was arrested for reckless endangerment and assault. Her nursing license from her previous career got permanently revoked. She's completely unhireable now, working overnight janitor shifts alone with nobody left to terrorize.